Hey guys, it's John. So I'm looking pretty haggard this morning. um, I'm doing this video off of my bedstand type thing. Yeah, had some fun last night. Maybe a little bit too much, but Mike in Mass has said 4 days, nothing in 4 days. He's wondering if I'm still in the bathtub. No, I'm not in the bathtub anymore. And then there's some other stuff, which is pretty funny, but I don't know if he'd prefer if I said it. Anyways, I haven't made a video in 4 days because I haven't really had anything to say. But after last night, I do. So, there's a local band here in town in Vernon called Poor Little Rich Girl, and a couple of my friends are friends with them. So, we went to go see them play at a pub. And there's two bands before them. The first one was, I don't remember what they were called, but they weren't very good. The second band was called no, the Nix Dixons. They're from Calgary, and which I'm from Alberta as well, which I thought was really cool. And they were pretty good. Like, they played rock and roll, and yeah. So as it turns out, at the end of the night, they needed a place to stay, and they're like young guys, like 20. One guy was 24, around my age. So I was like, well, I have a place to stay, or I have a place you can stay. Oh, sorry. And I was like, I don't necessarily have pillows or beds. I have a couch and a couple blankets. So, but you're more than welcome. So they're like, yeah, that sounds good. Anyway, we went to Boston Pizza after the band played to drink more. To drink more. And it was very eventful. So we get there, and Brandy, who is one of my supervisors, managers, I guess, she's sitting having a drink. So she sits with us, and we start talking about guys and how Ryan and I dated, and Ryan was there, and basically Brandy was asking about mine and Ryan's relationship, and pretty much why it ended. And how did we get to it? It was just like it got really awkward. And so I told Ryan, we were talking about like Boston pizza food and stuff like that. And I was like, Ryan, you would know if you actually got the job here and kept it. But no, you left because of me. So, backstory, Ryan got a job at Boston Pizza. And we'd just broken up previously. And he decided to say that he wasn't going to work there because of me. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, basically in the end, he didn't get a job. He quit. He pretty much quit before he started. And yeah, I, I had a couple drinks, so I don't think he thought it was funny. He thought it as funny as I did. He didn't really say anything. He kind of like chuckled about it, and then we got talking about like other guys, and Robin decided to say that I lure men, and he's telling Brandy this. He's like, Jonathan lures men. Jonathan breaks hearts, and I was telling Brandy that I do break hearts. I don't mean to. It just happens. And Robin was saying like boys fall for Johnny, and then he breaks their hearts. He lures them in. I was like, I don't lure men. I don't lure them. I don't. Like if there's a guy I like, I probably lure them, but I don't lure men in general. And Ryan was like, yeah, you do. You totally lure men. You lure men. And I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be awesome. So basically, the band was like late getting there. They had trouble finding a place. They got there, and Brandy was like sitting there, and we were talking about um, something. Like Ryan was talking about how he works in Kelowna, and I was like, I keep in mind I'd been drinking, and I was like, he doesn't pay rent. Like he makes good money in Kelowna, so he doesn't have to pay rent, so he can afford it. Driving back and forth from Vernon to Kelowna. And Ryan pretty much snapped at me, and he's like, "What the fuck does that supposed to mean?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "What does that have to do with any of the conversation like we were just having?" He's like, "You don't even know what we're talking about." And I'm like, "I, I'm just joking. Like, I was, I don't know what to say." And he's like, "Fuck, Jonathan," and I was like, awkward." So Brandy left, and she was like, I'm gonna be going now." And then basically Ryan got up, paid his bill, and left without saying anything. And I was kind of like, "I'm sorry." I was like, I was joking. Apparently Ryan pays rent now. He wasn't paying rent when we were dating. Unbeknownst to me, that he now pays rent. So I was just joking the fact that he makes enough money in Kelowna to not have to worry about the gas mileage back and forth. Is basically what I was getting at. So he didn't think it was very funny. So I do feel kind of bad, but basically last night I just laughed about it, and then this morning I laughed even harder about it. Yeah, that's my story. The band stayed at my house. We had a couple drinks with them. Like Robin stayed at my house last night because he um, couldn't bring his mom's truck back, and he had nowhere else to go because he's now moved to Kelowna. He doesn't have a place here in Vernon. And yeah, it was a good night. Got up early this morning, like early, and we went to bed at like 3 or 4. And I'm exhausted, but I thought this was kind of the perfect time to make this video because I think it's hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna try and get some sleep again. I'm sorry I'm so haggard. Oh, look, you can see my anime posters in the background. See it? Right there. That's Evangelion, and that one's Digisharat, and that one behind that one in the little corner piece is Final Fantasy. Yep.